At this time, I'd like to turn the time over to Bradley with Integra Adhesives for a seaming demonstration.
Thank you. How you guys doing today? If y'all want to come closer, you can. If you want to come right up here with us, you can. I'm okay with that. Okay. And what I want to talk about a little bit today, and I know all you guys are fabricators. I'm coming from the chemical side, the chemistry side of it. Well, I got a couple of products that we offer that I think can make the need for skilled labor less challenging for you right now. Because with the clamps I'm going to show you and the adhesives, that eliminates the need for someone skilled doing the mitered edge and also on the color matching side. Okay? So, and I'm just going to go through the basic do's and don'ts. First of all, I would wipe down my surfaces on this front edge right here with denatured alcohol. Okay? Most of your manufacturers don't recommend that you use any acetone, any MEK, anything like that. So, but for the show, we can't bring any denatured, but we would wipe these surfaces and edges down. Let's get rid of any loose grit too. And what we're going to do, we're going to dry fit all this first. Have any of you guys used these before? You have. Did they help? What you want to do is get this front edge all the way pushed in. And if you're doing a full-size slab, you can probably go 4 or 5 inches off or 8 inches off that edge. You don't have to come right to the very edge of it. And you can space them 18, 24 inches apart when you're doing them. There are some guys that do a combination. They'll actually use glue. They'll use tape and clamps, so they don't have to use as many clamps.
So how many of you guys currently miter right now? You guys are all mitering? And are you guys doing it like this, face down? Oops, sorry. Face down, do you do it face up? Oh, you turn them? Yeah. So yeah. Is this been a concept that you guys have used before? Okay, right. Awesome.
Okay,
great.
Now tomorrow I'm doing another one. I will do it with tape. We'll use the tape tomorrow. Okay? But I'm just trying to address a couple of issues a lot of shops are having skilled labor right now. Okay? And these clamps make it pretty simple. So once you get this set in, we're going to dry fit this piece. We're going to feed it through. We're going to line these edges up. Now what you're going to find, sometimes you'll have to loosen the clamps up and slide them back and let these pieces drop in. Yeah, the chair's good. I'm impressed with it. I thought Tony's going to have to sit in it. Hey. So guys, once you get it dry fit, you can just drop this down, just to make sure everything fits good. And there's a couple little features here that's neat, and I'll show you in a minute, but once we get the dry fit done, we'll take this stone back out, and we'll lay it down, and we'll come in here and put the adhesives in here now. Now, I like to use the zero, because it's a zero sag product. So once I put this on the surface, it'll stay where I put it. It won't run off in the floor. And a lot of you guys that use the XI product, the black label that we use for solid surface, pretty thin and runny, so it's not a good product for this. And the number one thing I want to stress today is, what I'm getting ready to do now will eliminate 90% of your callback problems. Purge. Get your cartridge up and purge it until you see adhesive and activator both come out, couple pumps, and you got everything level and you're ready to go now. So your ratio will stay on a 10-to-1 basis. So getting too hot and yellowing should not be an issue. And once you get the tip put on, you want to purge a little bit out again. Make sure you get all your mixture straight. Okay? Once you're done with that, here comes the fun part. If you guys got any questions along the way, stop and ask them. We'll address them as we go. Thank you, sir, because he knew I was getting ready to make a mess. Now you see how that product stand there? Now we just feed our stone back through. We're going to get good squeeze out. Yep. Put my glove on. And this is where I messed up. I should have said use your PPE that's provided. Now, one thing about being face down, none of this is going back onto your finished surface now. Okay? Because I can come here now, actually, clean up some of this excess. And it's less for you to have to clean up later.
So tell us again too, Brad, you used a different type of glue there?
Yeah, it's a thicker viscosity adhesive. And this product was actually engineered and designed for your quartz and your centered, like your Deckner's Neolith Flapotex. It's also good for your porcelain products, okay? This one adhesive, actually zero, can be used throughout the industry from solid surface all the way to your porcelains. And we've got that matched in I've got about 400 colors matched, but we're only offering that probably right now in about 125 or 30 different colors. And for you guys that have an issue or waiting for glue to dry, we also have a product now called Rapid. So it's about an 8 to 12 minute cure time. You got about 5 to 7 minutes open time to work with it. So in the coldest time of the year, it's a great option right there. So once we get this locked in, we got these little pieces on the side here. And you pull these up, and this actually brings the back of this to a 45 degree. So let me loosen that up a little bit. Pull that back, tighten that down.
Turn the chair just a little bit so people can see it.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Can you see that?
Yep. And to give you proof that it actually works, I got an area that'll fit on. There you go, right there.
Everybody see that okay?
Now I'm going to clamp this down and get a tighter fit out of this edge here. But for the most part now, you just let that sit until it cures. And usually you just got to clean up a little glue here if you need to do any fill-in work or just polish or chamfer the edges.
What's the recommended finishing on the glue once it's cured?
So that depends on, on the fabricator. But I know we just done a couple of these over in Raleigh shop, and pretty much all I did was wet sand it a little bit and hit it for polish, and they were done in about 5 minutes after.
Yep. Perfect. Thank you, Brad. Has anyone used this method before in their shop? What's been some goods, some bads? What's worked? What hasn't? Works great. Yeah. More of these clamps. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
And the reason they let me do this is because if I can do it, anybody can do it. So
yeah.
I offer hope.
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah.
Yes.
Do we have a mic we could pass around or?
Installers?
Cristallo.
So I would use a zero, and I'd probably use transparent white.
So Brad's specialty is the color matching.
Yeah.
And with Brad's company and the glue, they have amazing color matching charts.
Yeah.
You know,
So
Is the bond, like when you glue it together, the bond separates sometimes?
put it this way, my glue is much stronger than the stone is. You don't break it like we used to.
So is
Anybody else had to break a seam lately? How much fun was it? Didn't, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What about bleeding? Does zero bleed?
Zero should not bleed. Now, there are some quartz sites out there today. I'm not going to tell you it's not going to bleed on some of the quartz sites you're seeing right now, especially some of the Taj Mahals I've been seeing lately. Some of them a little bit more veiny than they used to be. But for the most part, I've heard bleeding twice in 13 years I've been with the company. Zero. Yes. Yep. Same cure time, same colors basically as the other products.
Yeah, maybe clarify that too, Brad. It's still the same brand, but a different version of it.
Different version of it, yes. It's a lot thicker. I don't carry that like for the XI, I carry that in 404 colors. I'm only carrying this in like 150.
So XI has over 400, zero 150. Is everybody using?
Yeah, use the black label. It's too thin. For what? Yeah. If you're doing solid surface, great. And the XI will work. But if you're doing, even on a deck seam, the XI tends to run out before you get the seam puller there. So I would go to zero, and then you Rapid, which is a lot faster. It's the same viscosity as a zero. I can write my name on the wall, and it'll stay there till it cures.
So Brad, does the Rapid come in both XI and zero?
No, Rapid is,
Or
basically just Rapid is the same viscosity, just faster. It only comes in that one viscosity brand, which is the same as zero.
Okay.
This product we brought out late this fall, so some of the shops up north started using it because they got tired of waiting an hour for glue to dry.
What about rotting, Brad? What do you recommend for rotting and using a glue for rotting? Is that?
So now we make a rotting bonder product. Any of you guys use our rotting bonder. So what's neat about our rotting bonder product, most of you guys are used to drying out before you put it in. Ours, you just blow out the standing water, drop your rod in, put your glue in your rod in, and you're done. You don't have to wait for it to be completely dry. It'll cure.
Go ahead, Tom.
Now that's a good question. I can't tell you the answer to you.
I know we use the product and we put it right on. I mean, by the time it sits on the rack, by the time you're loading the CNC, it's fine. 15, 20 minutes max.
Yeah.
So what if we don't have the exact right color? What if I have a color that needs to be maybe a little more transparent? What can I do?
So if you need something, if you need something a little bit more transparent, you can always call me. Or what you can do too, like if you're using a transparent white and you need a little less pigment, go to a Magic or Chameleon. Those two colors have less pigment descending into pigment. So it'll be your Magic and then your Chameleon. And those three colors, the Magic, Chameleon, and Trans White, will take care of all your marbles and most of your quartzites. So on the install truck, we can keep it simple. Get 3 or 4 colors on your install truck, you can get most of your natural stone jobs.
Is everybody using a pre-colored glue on their job sites and in the shop for the most part? Yeah.
So we have an app that can be put on a cell phone, and it can go on an Android or Apple product. And based on your manufacturer, if you're using the MSI product, you go to Q for MSI on our website, and we'll list a couple hundred colors, because what they do is they send us samples of their colors as they get them. We actually go in and seam these colors to test the samples. We don't just look at them and say that's close. We actually cut and seam the products. If you come to the plant, we'll have boxes and boxes of products while we've cut and seamed. And we'll keep those from this year to next year, because we learned with solid surface that there's a thing called drift, and it's sometimes in the slab, not in the adhesive. So this way we can keep up with it year going. So that way we always feel comfortable recommending. It helps the sales guys, helps our distributors. Since we no longer do direct sales, we're going through distributors. It helps those guys a lot. They can just look on the website and feel confident what they tell them the customer is the correct color.
I'd be curious to know, what are some of the issues you're having with seaming, with glues and adhesives? What are some of the one color you mentioned?
When I used to do it, that wait a long time for the glue to dry, but I have subs and stuff work for us now. So sometimes they'll say the glue don't dry and the seam would drop a little bit. What's the...
So shrinkage in the actual seam itself?
Yeah, actually the uneven.
So
even though we use The
The
lippage.
lippage. Okay.
On the Gorilla, and we use the Gorilla grip.
Gorilla grips is what
Yeah.
you use.
So
and
I
you
don't
have-
know if they were taking the seam set off too fast, or what's the wait time on it? Like,
That's a great question.
So for this product right here, for the Zero, about 30 minutes, you should be able to remove that. No problem.
the one that we have, I don't see you have it here. The,
XI?
yeah.
XI sometimes especially if it's a little bit cooler, that XI can be 35 or 40 minutes sometimes. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, they got shims on it. So
and when you talk shimming, you're talking about 2 pieces of masking tape on each side and then scraping it?
he's talking about the wood wedge
Right.
under it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I do the glue together, 2 quarts. And why does it turn black on the sides?
Say that again.
When I put the Integra
Okay.
in between 2 pieces of quartz. White quartz, you know. and
Black line?
It's
So-
getting black lines.
So it's 2 things can cause that. So I know in a precious stone and sometimes in the quartz like a light gray, a dull blade can cause that to bruise and leave you a really light gray shadow right on either edge of your glue. And the other thing that causes it usually is because the surface wasn't clean before you bonded it.
Okay, what do you gotta clean it with?
Denatured alcohol. Anytime you're in the field before you seam it, you always rub it in with denatured alcohol. And there's so many oils and dirt you can get on your hands. So, you know,
White glues are very absorbent. Any
Yes.
imperfection, it will take
soak it. It will soak it.
Okay, but this doesn't happen in all kind of quartz.
No.
They're only on certain, colors.
Yeah. Yeah. But, right, yeah, like he's talking about a razor blade. So, like if you use a razor blade to scrape down, you need to take denatured alcohol and clean that oil off your razor blade. Yeah. It will. Yeah. It'll leave tool marking, as we like to call it. Yeah. Now, I don't have a problem on the stone side, but I guarantee you your quartz manufacturers don't want to see that. But natural stone, because it ain't going to hurt my glue. But you want that denatured on your quartz. So your surfaces are going to be cloudy looking.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing, if it's a shadow, then does it put a transparency issue with the glue?
Now, if you get a white and it looks like a light gray or darker color, generally you would think that'd be too dark. That means you need more pigment, not less pigment. So if you're doing a white quartz and that seam looks almost like this right here, you need more pigment most of the time. Yeah, it's too translucent. He uses, yeah.
So, and so
Yeah.
what would cause maybe not enough pigment in that purging process that you showed at the beginning? Can you maybe explain that a little bit more?
So
Brad?
once you purge a cartridge and if you don't level it out, we call it leveling. If you don't get it level, you're not getting a 10-to-1 ratio. And also another thing you'll see too is you ever shot a cartridge out and it spits at you? That'll tell you it's out on that cartridge. Immediately once you see that, you run that bead, and then I want you to turn right back around and run right back over top of that bead again. Because if it spits at you like that, more than likely, it's going to do one or two things. It's either not going to cure, or it's going to cure fast and leave a yellow spot because it got too hot. Okay? I mean,
And I think one of the things we don't talk about enough is that as you're getting ready to seam, what do people do? They're checking the stone, right? Checking to make sure it's flat, making sure it's smooth. What are you doing while you're checking to make sure it's flat and smooth? You're getting stuff on the seam. Whether you're wearing gloves, not wearing gloves, whatever you're doing,
Yep.
you're depositing things on the stone. The last thing before the adhesive is applied should be another cleaning of the top edge of that seam.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Like even after I dry fit, I should have wiped that down again because I handled that top stone.
Okay, and on most stones it doesn't show up, but on a white quartz, it'll show up.
Yeah.
I heard of porcelain blades. Do you guys ever use that or?
Yeah,
Talking about razor blades? If you can afford them, I like them. But not everybody wants to pay $6 a blade to throw away at the end of the day. Yeah. Now, there's a product out there you can find too. Sometimes they make a razor blade that's just for the glass industry. A lot cheaper and don't mark. But still, it's a couple dollars a blade versus $6 a blade. The titanium blades is what I've had the best luck with. Just messing in the shop. Now, like I said, I'm not a fabricator. So when I see stuff, I'm usually messing in the lab trying to make it happen. So sometimes I do some real stupid stuff. I mean, you got to.
So you said titanium blades?
Yeah, it's instead of being your regular metal, it's like a yellow looking blade. And sometimes you want, and they'll be more like for your knife, not. So I use those a lot in the shop. Yeah. But whatever, I'm not going to tell anybody that's right or wrong way. Whatever you get good results for and you're not getting callbacks on, that's working, right? But there are some best practices that we can all use. And that's the purging and the cleaning and the safety. So.
perfect. We've got about 5 more minutes.
Say that again?
Say it again. Quartz is.
Denatured.
With denatured
Denatured alcohol.
Thanks, Izzy. Say,
Yeah.
You're supposed to talk into the microphone.
yeah.
You're not talking into the microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the denatured alcohol,
So, yeah, denatured alcohol, and I know this may be a helpful suggestion, but we actually used to carry both, and we went away from that and just carried the denatured because installers, they get confused, and just going to denatured has really helped our processes there.
and denatured also flashes off quicker.
Yep.
So it's quicker for you guys to use. Because some of your MKs and acetones, sometimes they can have some, they're solvent, but sometimes they have a little bit of oily residue to them. So, but yeah, if anybody's got any questions, just grab me, pull me off to the side, we'll talk. We'll do another one of these tomorrow, and tomorrow we'll do it using tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't. They are expensive, I'm not gonna lie. But, I mean, a box of 5 is gonna run you somewhere around $1,000.
So can we have you come do the seminar tomorrow?
Yeah, the demonstration tomorrow. All right, Izzy.
All right.
We got plenty of it over here left to use.
Yeah. Any other questions? Has that been helpful? Has that been good? Awesome.
Clamps from here. Anyone using those clamps that's here? Upside
does.
down? How
He
they work?
does.
Like them?
So, here's
Yeah,
a quick.
I like to do it the other way because what I usually do, I break a popsicle stick and I usually make an X and just kind of clean all the excessive.
Okay. Yeah,
Maybe a good question, Brad, is how many, every 3 feet, every 2 feet? Or,
I like to go 18, 24
18,
inches.
24 inches?
But now, I've got some shops now that are actually using the clamps, and they now use the G-tape in between. They kind of cheat, because, these are expensive.
Spreading them out a little further?
Yep. So,
Okay.
but Tony them use them, he uses them. What are you going, 24 inches on yours?
Porcelain?
Okay. So they do work on the 12 mil stuff. Okay.
But you got to use more of them.
You got to use a
Yeah,
lot.
you got to use.
Yeah.
If the material
Yeah.
itself will flex, you have
gotta
to use
use
more
a lot
clamps.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you going, 18 inches?
Every
12
12
inches. Okay. Yeah. So,
Perfect.
any more questions, guys?
No other questions?
Let's
Thank-
give
thank you,
Brad a round
Bradley.
of applause.
Thank you.